Home runs number 55 and 56 in a record-setting year for Cal Raleigh. 56, tying Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. for the most in a single season by a Mariner. He's in action in Kansas City as we speak. We'll get back to the updates in a minute. It's a 3-2 Royals lead. But since we have Alex Avila here, and since catchers speak to each other with PitchCom, I know you guys like when you go home and call each other, it's just through PitchCom. We thought we'd keep you in your comfort zone here. We've created something called CalCom, where through CalCom, questions will be asked of you regarding his switch hitting prowess, his defense, his home run hitting ability, and his nickname. The last one maybe not so important for the AL MVP discussion, but the first three certainly are. So can we do this?
Yeah. Let's see what you got.
Let's see what CalCom has in store for you.
What is Cal Raleigh doing that other power hitting switch hitters haven't done?
Ooh, that's a brutal PitchCom voice, but what is he doing that other switch hitters haven't done? Well, when I look at switch hitters, the thing is like usually there's a stronger side and a weaker side, and something that managers can game plan for, throughout the game, play matchups. The one thing Cal doesn't have, though, is a weakness. And so, like, looking at all the great switch hitting seasons that we've had, especially in the home run category, like he just passed Mickey Mantle, right, for most homers by a switch hitter. But look at the difference of homers between left and right-handed for all the other switch hitters, including Mickey Mantle, Lance Berkman, Chipper Jones. Each one of them have way more homers left-handed than they do right-handed. So as an opposing manager, you can play those splits. Yeah. For Cal Raleigh, you can't. He's equally as good from the left side and the right side. I don't think that's been getting enough attention because, I mean, he's got an OPS over 1,000 right-handed. So when you think, okay, let me bring in a lefty to try to get him on his weaker side, he doesn't have a weak side. So over the course of the game, as an opposing manager, you can't play splits with him.
Switch hitters sometimes are imbalanced in terms of higher batting average on one side, higher slug on one side. His slug is the same on both sides.
Everything's been pretty much identical. And I actually think his right-handed swing has almost looked better than his left-handed swing at times, even though he doesn't have as many plate appearances as many at bats. But I mean, you can see right there, he obviously has way more at bats as a left-handed hitter, so that average is not going to be there. But right-handed, I mean, he went from really struggling right-handed to thinking about stop switch hitting to it being his strength.
Power numbers amazing. Yeah. All right, let's go back to the PitchCom device here. Second question.
What aspects of Cal Raleigh's defense doesn't get enough credit?
So, the aspects about that voice is...
It's familiar.
It is a familiar voice, though, but... like everyone always talks about framing. They talk about, blocking balls, throwing runners out. My thing is his availability back there, because a lot of guys, you see a lot of catchers are platooned more now than ever. Rightfully so. It's a very tough, demanding position. So I just wanted to take a look because he's a workhorse, and this is his third straight year of catching over 1,000 innings. And usually, basically, it's been JT. He's been catching over 1,000 innings every year, it seems like, for the past decade. Contreras has been doing the same thing, and it's been Cal Raleigh. So my thing and I just wanted to throw his F4, which, you could take it for what it is, but it kind of accounts for everything, a little bit of offense, and accounts for all the catching metrics as in there as well. And that's why we're having this discussion about MVP, because he's right behind Judge in that metric. But when it comes to your availability as a catcher, being back there for that amount of games, that amount of innings, the confidence that it instills in your pitching staff it's immeasurable. Like it's not going to show up in those statistics, because the feeling that your guys are going to have knowing that you're back there every day and your manager can plug you in there no problem and not have to worry about it. It's huge for the team. And I think that adds to the consistency, and one of the reasons why we're always talking about their pitching staff being one of the better ones in baseball.
Right. That all makes sense. Let's go to number 3 here regarding home runs. Let's see what
Do we have to listen to that voice again?
I'm afraid.
Why is Cal Raleigh's power even more impressive than his home run total?
Okay, power even more impressive. Well, I would say mainly because of the park he's doing it in, right? I mean, when you look at the home runs he's been putting up, 56 home runs now, doing it in T-Mobile Park, I played a lot of games there. It's really difficult. Now, this was interesting here. Obviously, Ken Griffey played the majority of his games in a Mariner uniform in the Kingdom, which was a good hitter's, a good place to hit for a hitter. So that's one thing that's impressive. But another thing that's impressive, Cal's always talked about, like, he can't believe, like, he's being mentioned in the same breath as guys like Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey Jr. Well, that's why. I mean, you see Griffey there, 45, 48, 49, 56, 56, even though it was in a better hitting ballpark. But since T-Mobile has opened in 2000, I mean, these are your Mariners players' single season, like, home runs. And, you know, 2005, Sexton had 39. That was the most. Cano had 39. That was the most. But look at the difference. I mean, Nelson Cruz, when he was on his tear in those years between Seattle and Minnesota, was on a home run tear like no other. But Cal's got 56 now.
12 more than the next highest total.
Which is crazy to me, because that's not an easy place to hit.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I know maybe, you know, they've done some things with the dimensions a little bit in that ballpark, but still, that is not an easy place to hit throughout the entire season.
Yeah, park factors there are terrible for hitters, unlike at the Kingdom, where it was always favorable for bats.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it reminded me of, like, you know, when people would talk, when I played with Cabrera in Detroit, right? People would always talk about Miggin, his home run totals, playing the majority of his games in Comerica Park, where it was 420 to dead center field, you know, 435 out to right center field, where his power was. How many more home runs he could have hit if he was playing somewhere else, like Yankee Stadium or someplace more favorable. That's why those numbers for Cal Raleigh are kind of eye-popping to me, because that ballpark is tough.
That's good. Finally, this one.
We're going to have to
There are
destroy
no more
this
questions to ask about his nickname.
There are no more questions to ask about. By the way, can we reveal voice of PitchCom?
Who is that?
What aspect of Cal Raleigh's defense doesn't have enough credit? Why is Cal Raleigh's power even more impressive?
We need to retire Harold from
total.
What's he doing this for?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks it makes him sound better.
There are no more questions to ask about his nickname, the Big Dumper.
You know, that's you have to bring that back in Hot Stove during the offseason for sure. That's part of your soundboard.
We're done.
It was just suggested that he took, like, kind of a cool thing and turned it into Urkel.
Yeah, that
was Harold Urkel.
We need to retire that voice for any sort of PitchCom duties.
Yeah.